Now, during the time that I was in the Pentagon, my boss at Northwestern became the chief of research for the Naval Medical Research Establishment in Bethesda. Mm-hmm. He was a civilian chief, and knowing him and his habits, I knew that what he would do was he would just simply set up a bed in the laboratory, and that would be where he lived. He'd live and work and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's exactly what he did. So I used to go out there once or twice a week and take him to dinner, and then we'd go bowling, or we'd go to a movie, or we'd do anything for me to get him out of that laboratory. When I started to get the stuff about the Germans, which, you know, sort of super secret stuff, I did what I should not have done, but I did it anyway. Because I wanted him to know about it, because he was getting no information through the Navy. Right. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He was doing research, and the Navy's attitude towards doctors was very bad anyway. Regardless of your rank in the Navy, if you were a doctor, you sat below the salt at the table, and here was this guy, you know, who was an idol so far as I was concerned. Well, we would talk about all this stuff, and we talked a great deal about what was coming through on aviation medical research and on basic research like the freezing experiments and that sort of stuff. When they were setting up for he went back to Chicago, back to his job at Northwestern, and when they were setting up to do the background work for the doctors in Germany in preparation for the Nuremberg trials. The American Medical Association nominated Dr. Ivy as a physician to represent the United States in that group. Okay. And so that, he was the source of a lot of stuff from then on. Because one of the things he did was he very carefully collected biographies and background material on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of doctors. Some that were known to participate in these experiments, some who were in universities doing research, and some who were in the armed forces. And so he had vast amounts of material. And one of the things he was supposed to do was to identify individuals who ought to be tried. And it was a big job, and since I was the one who had given him the information in the beginning, he thought that I would be a good one to help him. So he asked me if I could help. And by this time, I had gone back to the School of Aviation Medicine as the chief of research down there. And so I was privileged to see all these things that he was working on, and to see some of the identification. He went off to the trials. They tried 27 doctors in that first trial, because that were all the seats that there were in the dock, with 27 seats. Mm-hmm. There were dozens and dozens of people that he and I knew were never going to get to the trials, and that happened.
So Dr. Ivy, did he go to Nuremberg then?
Oh yes, he was the principal doctor, United States doctor at the trials. The other fellow was a psychiatrist from Boston, who, in comparison to Ivy, did not do much. Ivy was the leading one in identifying people.